He was very smiley, he was very, very intelligent. Once you met him, you just fell in love with him straight away.
What?
That's what I always like to say to people. I was so proud of him, I was so proud to be his sister.
This is Logan Wooliscroft toasting a marshmallow and then giving it to his little sister. His family say for a few months last summer, this kind and thoughtful Logan disappeared, but on the morning of the 21st of August, he was back.
I was sat just doing my makeup, and as I left he told me that he loved me, and I can't remember the last time that he told me that he loved me, and I never said it back to him. Well, not that I can remember, but I remember turning around and he used to do a little wave, he used to do that with his hand, and he did that to me, and I was just like, right, bye.
He said, I'm proud of you. And I said, yeah, I'm proud of you too. And he said, no, Dad, listen to me, I'm proud of you. I want you to know I'm proud of you.
A few hours later, Steve found out Logan had gone to a cliff near their home. Steve went to find him.
I found 8 grams empty bags, cocaine bags. Disrano, he poured that into some Pepsi. The police asked me where I thought he was, and I just knew that he'd gone over. So I came home and had to tell Tilly that her brother had died. Which broke my heart.
Cocaine was once only for the rich, but now it's affordable and accessible. Recent Home Office figures show last year the numbers of people taking Class A drugs in England and Wales reached record levels, mainly due to young adults. Academics and doctors say these are some of the reasons there's been a rise in the number of alcohol and cocaine-related deaths over the past 2 decades. 162 people died in England and Wales last year. A leading pathologist has called the mixture of alcohol and cocaine a deadly combination. There are, of course, the health risks, increased heart rate and increased blood pressure. There's also the chance of increased risky or dangerous behaviour. Research from the US suggests it could also increase the chance of suicide by 16 times.
Alcohol and cocaine are very different pharmacologically. Alcohol is a depressant. It tends to kind of increase the levels of GABA in the brain, which is like the brain's handbrake, and is the thing that makes it an anxiolytic. It makes us feel less anxious. You add cocaine into that mix, and what you have is almost like a rocket-fueled kind of increasing in impulsivity, which really perhaps gives people the driver to complete an act that they may not otherwise do. It's like crossing the road in front of a car speeding towards you. You make those kind of decisions.
The Victoria Derbyshire programme has found there have recently been at least 13 self-inflicted deaths after alcohol and cocaine were taken. The majority of them were hangings. This includes the Love Island contestants Mike Thalasitis and Sophie Graydon. Also, Sophie's boyfriend, Aaron Armstrong, who took his own life just weeks after her. The trouble that we and academics have found is there's currently no standardised statistics for these type of deaths. After consulting experts, we found these figures by searching through local and national media articles. It's thought the number of deaths could be even higher. We've been told the way coroners record their conclusions could be obscuring emerging trends in difficult cases. In the inquest we found where the deceased hanged themselves, a conclusion of suicide wasn't always recorded. Narrative or open conclusions were instead. At one inquest where a man hanged himself after taking alcohol and cocaine, the coroner recorded a narrative verdict, saying the deceased took his own life while the balance of his mind was disturbed. It's unfortunate we're having more and more deaths of this nature. The Ministry of Justice says while coroners contribute to death statistics, it's not their legal function. Along with the 13 deaths we found, there were 5 more where cocaine and alcohol were consumed and suicide considered, but coroners concluded there wasn't enough evidence. One of those was Logan. In the 3 months before his death, Logan became increasingly volatile and depressed. The 21-year-old's family say he'd made some new friends and had started taking cocaine and drinking heavily. He left some notes for his family, but the coroner said Logan could have fallen while intoxicated. An open conclusion was recorded. Do you think alcohol and cocaine killed Logan?
Yes, 100%. To mix a stimulant with a depressant, which is what you're doing, it muggles your brain up completely and you just don't know where you are.
Some with mental health problems may take cocaine and drink to self-medicate. For others, the mixture can cause mental health issues. At the age of 30, Paula Reese was battling alcoholism. She began taking cocaine to curb her drinking.
I couldn't have one line. I could never have one drink, you know.
And together?
And together created that boom, the bomb in my mind. There was a sense of paranoia, really. There was a point where I used to feel like I was being recorded, wherever I was. So I knew I was going a bit crazy, but I still didn't put it down to the drugs and drink. I just thought it was me going mad. And I used to unplug all the electrical equipment with green lights because I was convinced that was cameras. I used to put my ear to the floor because I thought people were underground.
Paula tried to take her own life on 2 occasions.
Those 2 drugs took me away from any sense of responsibility, any sense of reality, and I didn't think of any consequences. In fact, I didn't care.
Paula is now clean and works for Recovery Lighthouse. It's part of the UCAT group of rehabs, which have seen alcohol and cocaine admissions double in 4 years. When you mix alcohol and cocaine together, the liver produces a substance called cocaethylene. It's thought this can lead to reckless behaviour, violent thoughts, and the increased risk of suicide. However, the Royal College of Psychiatrists says other factors like a person's genes and their environment will also come into play, and that more research is needed.
We've had 28% funding cuts in the last 5 years, at the same time as we have this increase in usage, which seems really inexplicable to those of us working in the field. But our biggest concern obviously is the impact on the individual and their families, because people often get into the habitual use of alcohol and then they add cocaine into that and it becomes a very toxic mix.
The Department of Health says it's investing millions into suicide prevention, has commissioned an independent review of drugs and is setting up alcohol care teams in some hospitals. You can see the cliff where Logan died from the Wooliscroft's garden. Logan's cat occasionally meows when you say Logan's name. When the family need an escape, they go to the garage where they keep Logan's car.
Pretty much everything in here is revolved around Logan.
The Wooliscrofts are now raising money to support mental health and suicide awareness services in the Matlock area. They recently did a 5-day gruelling coast-to-coast bike ride, cycling nearly 200 miles.
It's kind of a escapism for me. I'm listening to Logan's playlist and, you know, I just pretend he's with me, behind me or something.
He was just lovely, and I think to think of something like this, changing someone in such a drastic way, like a boy who had everything, like it just shows what it really can do to you.